do
will
is you'll
love to
peek
be
open the
dirty
door.
little head.
This is very simple. Who gives it food? It'll like that one
Yeah,
a
dude,
lot.
Durs barks at you all day because you feed
Me
him.
and Durs vibe.
Yeah, but you feed him. And also, I vibed with him. No.
Yeah,
Balls.
there's
2
vibes
hours.
with everybody.
Anyway.
I hung out for Durs for
So
18
what? How are
hours
you?
yesterday.
How are you gonna handle this?
It was not 18 hours.
No, I have no. Okay, I don't even think I could.
He's JFK right now. I have nothing to say about a cat, nor will I get a cat.
This is not something I can discuss. No, I don't think I will. No, because
I already got Cutie's gift.
I'm not gonna get her a cat and then have her open it in fucking new.
If you
hands.
kill Durs, you can get her a new cat, and then you don't have to deal with having 2 cats.
Hold that
Durs,
thought.
if you kill Durs.
You're the only gift I haven't got.
Don't give me one.
Yeah, Eamon was funny because I was trying
Fuck you.
to.
I'm getting you a gift. Can you give me one now?
I heat checked him, and I was like, I can't get Eamon. The last time I got him a book, and he didn't know what book it was.
He doesn't remember the book.
He doesn't remember, and to this moment right now, he still doesn't, which is crazy. Because I'm only gotten him 2. One of them was a libertarian coloring
Probably
book.
and he
$3
remembers
bucks.
that one.
No, 3 items.
Yeah. Anyway, he's he's just not there. He's not lovely. Here's the thing.
You guys are the same.
You and me, Nick, we have so much love to give, and it's unfortunately these guys are
Wandered.
They don't have the receptors, right?
Yeah.
It's not there. It's like you got antibodies for our love.
I gave you a. I thought my gift was sweet.
Don't remember what it was.
What I gave you?
No, my gift. What was it?
The book
Oh, the book.
and the shirt
Who
and
could forget
the
that?
coloring book.
And who could forget shit?
I remember the shirt. I love the shirt.
It's my favorite of shirts.
You
I
like
own.
shirt demand?
I own several
Sometimes
shirts.
I wear it.
And I wear that shirt.
Yeah. It's my size.
I'll open
which I
the
like.
book. I'll close the book.
Yeah. So many pages. But not too many pages.
What was Universal? How was that?
Universal?
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a good time. I basically set it up for XQC to stream, and it's a little hard to like entertain that many people, make sure everyone's having a good time, but I did the best I could. Dinner after was great.
Dude, I read a comment on LSF that was like, yeah, not even a lot of great clips got farmed from this. Like, and they said it as if like it was expected, and I'm like, man, is it the kids who are wrong or is it me? Like the idea that like a stream needs to get clip farmed, and the fact that it didn't have a lot was a problem.
I think doing something with that high effort with that many people who could spend their time elsewhere is important to analyze. Was it successful?
Maybe he works for the paper. He wants to.
I think people overvalue the importance of LSF
Comments.
and comments.
You're right. I think
Because
so
like
too.
I think there's like 1 million maybe people subscribers to the subreddit.
You cite this a lot, but it's weird because at what point do you say, oh, ignore it all because there's so many people and the minorities commenting, and at the other hand, it's like they're still commenting. People are still seeing.
What I'm
it.
saying is my YouTube alone has like double that amount, and so catering to them is probably more fruitful than catering to 1 million people who are like partially interested, most of them not even interested.
I thought about this when I was looking through because our clips channel for the podcast has more shorts being uploaded to it now. And those get a shit ton of views. And when, much like TikTok, when they get a lot of views, they're hitting an audience that does not normally watch us or is even generally familiar with us. Even you. And
They have more views than our episode.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like hitting this giant crowd of people, and among that crowd is a small percentage of people who are willing to make a shitty comment. Because the comments on our shorts that like really huge like that are fucking miserable. But
yeah, dude, it's funny. Eamon, every week he'll be like, "Fuck, I just can't deal with these people, man. It's crazy."
It's crazy. That's what I think every time I see it. It's like it's crazy that this person exists and typed this message and thought it was like.
This is how me and Ludwig are the same. Because I read all those and my brain doesn't even think about it. I'm like,
Yeah, but the way I'm coping with it now is basically what you're saying, is that this is such a tiny percentage of the people interacting with this clip, and then again, the greater audience that consumes like this type of media altogether, and most people are normal.
Yeah. You know what gets me? It's funny because, like, there's this spectrum where it's like, okay, on this end are people who are saying, I fucking hate that guy. I fucking hate slime. And then there's people who are like, I love slime, it's great. These mean nothing to me. But it's the middle ground of people, like, making pointed thoughts about, like, I don't like slime because of this. And, like, bringing, like, an argument to the table. And I'm like, those are the ones that like trigger my brain. I've realized. If it's just blind hate, I'm like,
This is because you
That's cool.
value thought.
I don't know. Like,
The first two are people who are just saying shit.
yeah. But even if it's really mean, it's like, damn, that's crazy.
I think it makes sense if someone takes the time to actually expand and like build their point and then make a conclusion, then it hits hard because then you have to confront their thought process. But if somebody just makes some like weird, like shitty comment, then it's like, well, they're just a fucking.
But I also think the information they're operating with is usually incomplete, so it's dumb thoughts anyway.
It is incomplete and usually wrong, right? There
Yeah.
are people be like,
Yeah, they start with a false premise and then create an entire
It is.
thesis.
They are
Slime still
you.
works for Smash Summit, and it's like, oh,
You
we
like
don't know anything.
them because they do the same thing you do, where they operate with very little information but make really large
And
poignant.
that's why you're the same.
But I have a platform, which makes me more dangerous.
Yes. Yes. Actually, yeah.
Hey.
And now we're the same.
Hey, there you go. Put it there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ouch,
Oh,
did that
that's
hurt?
Oh my god,
hurt
that's the
him.
most concern he's ever shown.
Yeah, I thought it hit him. I thought it was. You
I
saw the real slime for a second.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Go away, go away.
Put them know where to hit.
He needs absolute silence to get back into character.
I learned something very, very important about slime, like 3 years ago, and it was that he basically explained to me that he is willing to go to any height and any length and say almost anything about any subject and argue any point with any level of intensity.
Is this about Mario Tennis?
if no if
What are you talking about?
if the subject matter ultimately does not matter that much,
Yes.
and that he will not do these types of things for things that are more serious. What I've always disagreed with him about is that just because the subject matter doesn't mean that the way you talk to people doesn't make them feel the same way as you would if it did matter.
yeah.
And he, I don't think, processes that part very frequently. And so he just says shit because he's like, because talking about Saikuno doesn't really matter. And it's whatever.
or I
can't-
thought that.
I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm the psychopath. I can't believe it.
Actually, true.
And when I learned this about him, it made it so much easier to like deal with when he gets really angry or loud or animated about like something like
Mega Man.
where we should go. I'm like, do you want to get food? And he's like, no. I'm like, why? He's like, 'cause you don't know where you want to go because you're weird. You're a psychopath. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Normally I'd be like, that makes no fucking sense. What are you saying? But now I'm just like, all right, because I realize that like he just thinks that what we're talking about doesn't matter, and he finds it more entertaining to treat that moment like that.
Yeah, I amplify any minor feeling.
You're
as,
the psychopath.
As sort
Yeah,
of
you're the
As
psychopath,
a
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
However, if Eamon comes up to me and he's like, my entire family was killed in a plane crash, that my father was driving the plane, and I wouldn't be like,
did they
duh.
did they sleep in their bed?
Because he's
They
bald.
spawn near their house.
Because I'd be like, oh damn, it's probably like a really complicated thing, and you're going through a lot. I want to let you know I'm here for you. Let's talk about that whenever you're ready, and I love you. So it's about me putting all these things in different columns of like importance, and sometimes the non-important column is important to other people, and I need to recognize that, and that's my journey as a man. I know, Eamon.
And it would be like, yeah, yeah. So like, sometimes planes don't work, and I get that.
I mean,
It's unfortunate that it happened to me, but I mean, they kind of signed up for that whole thing, so
It
I
just
gotta,
happens to some people.
I gotta deal with that. And
watched
it's
the
gonna
Wendover
suck, but
video.
like,
and like the Wendover video said that this could like barely ever happen, and it did, which is like,
He would
not a
fly the
bummer,
same
but-
exact plane model to the funeral, and he'd be like, "Well, like the plane's actually safe, like statistically speaking."
well, like
this
I'm
is
over
safe."
18 now, so like I really have no dependency on.
oh,
it,
that's
so.
the one. Like, my emotional stability isn't really dependent on my parents being involved in my life, so, and that's his eulogy.
And you're still the psychopath, even though that's him.
He's like, but thanks everyone for coming to the whole funeral. Oh man.
Come on, man, bring it in, man.
Bring it in.
You support Yevon Bombs.
Oh, we got him! We got him!
On camera.
Let's go!
Thank you.
Thank you, Russia, for
Woo!
the national anthem.
A thing I wanted to bring up, I have a name. I'm gonna revise, because I think Nick has the best, oh, I'm sorry, class. Did the bell dismiss you, or did Slime dismiss
My
you?
bad. I actually am listening. Believe it or not, I actually am listening.
So Nick, I think, has the best like names for all of his alts in Smash. Basically,
I'm on my character.
when he chooses the character he plays, he's got these funny nicknames.
Cheeto goes
I
hard.
came up with one.
What is that?
I've played this character probably like 30 minutes total in my life.
Samus?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm taking
that
that one.
fucking rules.
I'm taking that one.
That one fucking rules.
Hey, we should talk about something.
Hmm.
Nick is being kicked off the podcast.
Let's go!
I know, hey, no,
Wait, what the fuck?
Not yet.
News to me.
Okay, now it's Let's go!
Wait, what? What? I don't know about this.
We have decided as a group that you.
Well, as not full group.
You know, they decided this, and you know how they do that thing where I disagree, but they'll reach out to shake my hand?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I want to shake hands still.
And you did it.
I did that,
Okay.
and I can't really go back on it.
And we had our
You
lawyers
support
there.
Yemen droning.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got morals. See, you didn't pass that test.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with that.
I'm
Good
okay
boy.
with getting rid of there.
So
Why are we cutting him?
we're cutting him because, well, the simple reason is that we want to go to a melee tournament.
Yeah, Verdugo with the Aussie boys.
Yeah. So we're gonna be recording our bonus episode
Without me.
without Nick.
Without
you.
It's gonna be tomorrow,
And I have to work Smash Summon.
and you have to work Smash
You gotta
Summon.
work
So
Smash
the next
Summon.
so the bonus episode after this is just not gonna have Nick because we've kicked him off, and his Patreon earnings is actually gonna be dispersed.
Oh, well, not that part. Maybe
I like
That's right, Zipper.
Zipper class in the background.
I
What if we do a Zipper episode where Zipper has like a voice modulator and it's only his
I
voice?
just quit my job,
Yeah.
so
Hey,
Zipper likes that.
hey, shut up.
yeah.
So yeah, we could do the Zipper modulator. We could
Uh-huh.
also just have someone else on.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe
You get it
Swift
like a
gets in
different
there.
guy.
Like a
Swift.
temporary-
That'd be kinda
Durr.
cool.
We have the animals
Oh,
go
Durr is
around.
So
It'd be like a
Dude.
temporary
That guy's a
thing.
Chad.
We'll figure it out. Either way, this is just a
Not bad.
juicy bonus because you won't have to listen to Nick's grating voice.
Ooh.
Have fun working this week, though.
Sing
It's gonna
a
be a busy week.
I'm quitting after. I'll be done soon.
Dude, it'll be so sick when you quit, but until then, you're fired.
That's right. You're
Not
fired.
I would say trend of quitting.
You know what? Before you fucking fire me, I have one fucking thing to say to you motherfuckers. Smoking weed.
Nah,
Smoking
nah,
weed.
You ready? You warmed up? Your blood
Hey,
Smoking weed.
Smoking
blood.
weed.
That was pretty good.
You botched it.
Hey, what's
Me?
going on, guys? Welcome back to the yard.
No. You
No.
don't get to just
No.
do that.
No.
You
Nuh-uh.
say he made
Welcome
us.
back.
You're
he-
still chewing.
You made us sit here and watch you eat poke out of a box for like 3 minutes straight.
Welcome back to
And
the
Zipper
yard.
said we're rolling, and you're like,
I'm gonna die.
The yard is here.
and Eamon's stressed. Look how stressed he
I'm
is.
so stressed.
Look at him. You fucked him all up.
You stressed me
His
out.
heart rate's all weird.
You look
now.
like the little girl in Monsters Inc.
I look like the little girl in Monsters Inc. She
Yeah.
doesn't have a jacket.
Not me with the
We're-
furry
Oh,
coat
she
on.
does have a costume
You with the
for, like, all of it.
Montclair jacket on.
What does she say? What does she say?
Giddy.
Kitty. That's funny.
She says, "Ah, fuck, a monster."
We actually
That's
talk,
scary as shit.
Oh,
we
shit.
talk exactly like Boo. Kitty
yeah,
Man.
Yeah, Kitty Man.
Man.
I talk like a Pixar animated little girl.
Puppy Man.
Puppy Man. You had some Puppy Man time. You took Taylor Swift. He poops so much in the house.
Yeah,
He-
apparently when I'm not here, Swift comes out to play.
It's not
No,
you.
no,
brother.
that has nothing to do with you. He poops in that kitchen when you're home as well. He's been doing it a lot lately,
He's a kitchen pooper.
I think he's fed up.
which is not a good thing.
Well, okay, what happens is we let him out, and the sun, daylight savings, sets early. Cringily
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
if I can add.
Cringily.
It
That's
is
right.
cringe.
I want to
Yeah.
rewind. I want to rewind.
It's
it.
cringe of the sun to have changed its schedule
That's right.
Yeah, I got you.
around
Cringe
our
ass sun.
time.
Stupid
And
son.
so when we let the dog out at night, like, it doesn't matter what noise it is. If a noise happens, Swift will not be.
Can we talk to him?
Swift?
Can we
talk to
sit
the
down
dog?
and talk to Swift? And
Swift is the most troubled dog I have ever met.
What happens
by
if
far?
Swift is like halfway through a poop and then you make a noise? Does it go like back in or does it cut halfway?
Pinch.
I think he cuts. He pinches.
He cuts?
He's a pincher.
Cuts and runs. And then you gotta. I once had to cut his poop out of his back fur.
You did do
Oh,
that,
we
yeah.
should give him little earmuffs so that he can't hear noises and then
Yeah.
he poops real good. Then.
That is
and then
a
he
thing.
wouldn't bark
That's
at the
actually
door
really-
anymore.
They have a lot of. We actually have a lot of those. There's a bunch of like, basically like autism devices for dogs that just reduce your sensory, so you don't have
Yeah.
sensory overload. So basically, he's like a walking vegetable.
Also,
Doesn't
the first time
really
I've heard
work.
anyone say dogs is pluralize dogs.
Or like a autism device for dogs, which I don't believe can have that.
My thing is making sentences people never
You don't think dogs can have autism?
I don't know. I guess I'm not a scientist.
Almost assuredly, Swift is autistic.
Or he's just badly trained.
This is not like this is like a fear of like the remote. Like, because the sound the TV makes when it starts.
But dude, the
It's too
remote,
loud.
there's like a guy on the picture, and then the remote makes a different guy.
Yeah.
It makes a whole different guy.
You know, it is confusing.
And then sometimes they're like monsters and like sponges
It's loud.
that can talk. So
Do you think,
that
like-
thing's pretty scary.
like if you were raised where you had no TV, like Amish, and then you saw a TV, you'd be like,
You know what's funny? And this is a good segue. We hung out with a very old friend earlier yesterday, and he was telling me, I was like, you know, it kind of rules to be alive right now, right? Like, we have Nintendo.
Yeah.
We have, like, cool stuff. We got, like, boba. We got, like,
pussy, weed.
we got all that.
We got boba, pussy, and weed. Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, dude.
But back in the day, it's like you churned butter, and then, like, you hope that the person that was, like, marrying you, if you're a woman, the person that was, like, marrying you, like didn't hit you, right? And then you
Yeah.
had to have 7 kids. And life just fucking sucks.
And
right?
every time you have a kid, it's like, I might die this one.
I was
Yeah, you might die, or 3 of them might die.
Yeah.
While you're having 7.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but he was like, no, because we had God back then, but our God now is Nintendo.
He's right. I was on his side for this.
Nintendo is our god.
So he's
Because
basically saying
I-
God kept us happy, but now we have Nintendos that keep us happy, but they're the same amount of miserable.
You had such a limited perception in like the old world. Like religion was your life's purpose and entertainment, and you knew nothing about like what was on the other side of the
Ludwig
bridge,
gets invited
you know?
to the Bible premiere and doesn't go.
This is like Isaac Asimov's like loser brother.
You can't imagine. You can't imagine what what is better when you have no clue it even exists. Your life is just churning butter and living with
Look,
your
I
family.
love this Bible.
and reading the
Look, I
Bible.
agree to take that technology could be a replacement for what religion fulfills, but it's not the Nintendo DS or the Switch.
It's that, well, okay, my question more is, are we happier now than we were hundreds of years ago?
As a society,
I think we are because we have Nintendo.
I think we're less happy.
I
Because we know more.
think
You actually are not authorized to answer questions about human emotion, but I'd love to hear your take.
It's true, yeah. You actually have no stake in
Let's
it.
hear
I
it.
think society is on paper fatter, but that's because we're more open to talking about being sad.
That's a good point. Because if you talked about being sad back in the old days, you'd get killed with an axe.
Yeah.
It was not cool to be depressed in the olden
It was
days.
the monthly axing. They would go around
Now if you're not depressed, you're
killing weeks.
You couldn't take a mental health day from churning the butter
No, bro, the butter is not going to churn itself.
because the family was on the line.
What is being a weeb? What is being a weeb like 100 years ago? You're just like you're like a Christian?
Well, 100 years ago,
Yeah, that's called being Protestant.
Are you just super into Christian lore?
It's Protestants, and then the Catholics are the non-weebs.
Wait, what? Protestants are the weebs of Christianity?
Yeah, because they're the newer ones.
What about the Orthodox Christians?
Those are just cringe lords all around.
you know, 100 years ago, the Spanish.
So we
flu.
got we got the cringe lords, then we have the weebs.
Yeah.
I wish I
You
knew
got the
every
Nina,
beer.
the Santa
Yeah,
Maria.
Dude, there was one weirdo on the fucking Santa Maria who was like trying to show people Yu-Gi-Oh, or like whatever like English Yu-Gi-Oh was. Like,
it was just a bunch of rocks.
Like some whack shit, and they're like, dude, this fucking weirdo's at it again.
Back in the day, I was like, I got almonds.
Yeah.
And they're like,
they're like, oh, are those like peanuts? You're like, no.
you know how much water it takes? You point to like the Atlantic.
Yeah, it takes
1 almond.
It takes 4 cubits to grow this.
you crunch them to kind of squeak in your teeth.
People back then are so dumb and
They're so stupid,
I hate
yeah.
it. Oh man, I would clown the shit out
They
of
would
wasn't
beat
their
the
fault.
fuck out of us,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I bet 500 years from now, like the last remaining humans on the space colony will be like, dude, 500 years ago they were still fucking stupid. They thought Nintendo was
Do
cool.
you think we'll get less racist with time? Not us as a group necessarily, but but like
Absolutely not. that
But
one,
like,
that one
you
I
know,
won't budge on.
humanity. You think we'll get?
I think it's like a jagged. So like it's like I think everything trends progressive, and then there's a giant spike of like racism.
New racism just dropped.
yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I
What's
hate
the-
like something
What is
really
the new
specific right
racism? Space racism? Like,
Oh
what is-
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I-
dude. Oh, we would be so good at being
Dude,
racist
if
to
an
aliens.
alien comes, I'm racist.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm already.
It's not. You're not racist.
I'm
you're
already AI
you're
racist.
Specious.
I'm already AI racist.
Species.
AI.
Oh, you're racist.
I'm robot
against AI.
racist.
It's not
It's
racism.
crazy 'cause you
It's
are
a
a
different word.
Oh, so
You're
they're not a
using the
race.
wrong
Oh, they're not a
word.
race.
Is that what you're
They're
saying?
not.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
I
Hey,
Colors.
welcome.
True Colors
Welcome.
came out. Hey, shake his
I'm
hand.
with you there. I'm with you.
You guys are the
I
same.
don't. Wait. Why am I shaking his
Because
hand?
you're
right
robot racist with me.
That's right. Because you don't consider them.
now? Is robot racism? That's like. That's what you write an essay about after you watch Ex Machina.
In 500 years, you're gonna have to decide if robots get to vote. Robot suffrage will be a conversation.
This actually was just the entire Matrix series.
Dude,
Robot
a robot
Yeah.
rolls up to the crib and like says something mean to Aiden, and Aiden like has a conversation with it, and, like tries. No, like, that doesn't make sense because
I love Aiden's reasonable mode because it's always very reasonable, but there's sometimes you're like, you're spending a lot of energy on this and you shouldn't.
Okay, we do a parody of her, and it's Aiden just arguing with the robot.
Dude, no, Aiden breaking up with the robot.
no, it's Aiden breaking up with her, but she's upset.
Yeah, he made the robot sad because he was so disconnected from the robot emotions.
Are you even human?
That'd be so hard, bro. It's like, yeah, it just wasn't really working out. Like, you know, you can see other people. It's totally fine.
But I'd love to hang out, like be friends.
And
That's
like,
cool.
what's her name? Amy Adams. Just like,
I can't
My
leave your
love
home.
language is physical touch, and frankly, it's a huge barrier. in our relationship.
How I can change.
all right, let's talk about it, bro.
Hey,
I
let's-
feel like there's something to talk about. I
Let's
feel like
talk
something
about it.
happened today.
It's Ludwig week.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, it's Ludwig week.
It's
Dude, what do you want to talk about instead?
Aiden just said, I don't
Never
want
mind.
views.
Hey, I'm really proud of you. Why did you go to YouTube?
And I'm also human, by the way.
And I'm really.
Good- that was a cool
do it
human
silently.
decision you made today.
And I have.
I thought your
emotions.
human choice was very human.
I'm gonna like Mark Zuckerberg my water right now.
Just everything you do is weird and robotic. You have slimy eyes.
Everything went perfect. The YouTube announcement dropped. I dropped it on Twitter. I dropped it on YouTube. I dropped another video on my second channel or third channel, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
and you give stands an exclusive scoop.
Give
I
stands an
actually-
exclusive scoop.
I actually do want a synopsis of your second channel video. Why did you switch over for real? Because I started watching it before we started recording, and Nick said, no, save it for the pod. So this is me saving it for the pod. I
Let me
want to
give
know
you
now.
the 1 minute synopsis. So basically,
You're doing the 1 minute. Go ahead.
Like a tuba? What do you-
Do the thing. You're doing. Give
Like
I'm
Jeopardy?
giving you.
It's
I'm giving you
throwing
back.
me off. Can I tell you?
I don't know the melody, so what the fuck are you doing?
I'm giving him like.
Oh, he's
Is
doing
it
the
a reference?
he's doing the bass
It-
for
I
Who are my
would
strings? Who are
love
my strings? Give me.
an
No
answer
one
to
knows
my
the melody.
question.
You are
I don't know
botching
what
it.
Nick is doing. I
It's
don't
great
know what
that
Nick
Nick
is
is the
doing.
bass.
And
All right, okay.
Look, if
Look,
you
I
you
don't know.
can't.
Just look at me. Just pretend like it's me and you because
Okay.
they're being weird
Does that
about it.
mean
I'm not being weird. I'm trying to say that's
The
weird.
racist robots are talking.
What are we talking about now?
Okay, so look, I was stuck on this decision. You guys should probably know this for a long time. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
faced with it in Italy.
Yeah.
And I talked